Manchester United are ready to cut their losses on Antony in January as the club prepare to start a new era under Ruben Amorim. The Red Devils splashed out more than £81.3 million to bring the Brazil international to Old Trafford in 2022. But Antony, 24, has never looked like replicating the dazzling form that made him such a hit for Erik Ten Hag and Ajax in the Eredivisie. Ten Hag was sacked by United last month, and the Daily Star have now revealed that Antony is set to follow him out the door if the club can find a taker for the winger in the winter transfer window. It's said that United are willing to listen to offers for Antony. That would also appear to include loan proposals if they cannot offload the £200. 000 a week star permanently. The report outlines that Ten Hag questioned Antony's attitude in training prior to his departure, while sources close to the club have also disclosed that the player has been deemed a disruptive influence in and around the squad. United co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe is keen on getting Antony off the wage bill in the wake of his disappointing impact since joining the club for big money prior to his own arrival at Old Trafford. Quenda, 17 is regarded as one of Europe's hottest prospects after breaking into the sporting team under Amorim. And his former boss is sweet on the idea of reuniting with the talented teenager in the Premier League. Quenda has just appointed Cristiano Ronaldo's agent, Jorge Mendes, to represent him moving forward ahead of a potential blockbuster transfer next year. Amorim will take charge of his game since joining United this Sunday when he takes his new team to Portman Road, where they will face top-flight new boys Ipswich Town. He could be without a host of recognised first-team stars though, with Lisandro Martinez the latest player to suffer an injury whilst on international duty. The defender was sent home early from camp with a sore back, and it remains to be seen if he will feature for United this weekend. Paul Pogba is not likely to consider a return to Manchester United as the France midfielder, who has recently returned from a drugs ban, weighs up his options. The World Cup winner, 31, is currently training in Miami and, according to reports, looking to join a club in one of Europe's top 5 leagues. However, a third stint at Old Trafford is not expected to happen, despite Pogba being available for no fee after he came to a mutual agreement to rip up his contract with Juventus last week. Pogba was given a 4-year ban in September 2023 after he was found to have given a positive doping test that saw his testosterone level raised in August of that year. But he then had the length of that suspension reduced to 18 months on appeal, meaning he is free to return to action in March of next year. In a statement confirming his Juventus departure, Pogba said, "There are times when things don't go the way we want, but one thing is certain, the bond I have with you, dear fans, will remain unforgettable. You have given me so much, more than I can express in words, and I will always carry with me all the affection you have given me. You will always be in my heart. Good luck, Juventus." The Italian club released their own confirmation. Juventus Football Club and Paul Pogba announced that they have reached a mutual agreement for the termination of their contract as of the 30th of November 2024. The club wishes Paul the very best for his professional future. Pogba has also insisted that he can hit the same heights as before his ban, adding, "I'm still the same player but with a different hunger," he said. "I am more motivated. I am more hungry. I will appreciate the game more than before after it was taken away from me. I realised how important it was for me. I tasted what life is after the career." United, meanwhile, are expected to sell some players before any future signings are sanctioned. However, new manager Ruben Amorim, who will take charge of the club for the first time against Ipswich on Sunday afternoon, may be determined to reshape the squad left by Erik Ten Hag. Pogba's immediate future remains uncertain, but his determination to reclaim his place among Europe's elite is evident. Training in Miami, the World Cup winner is said to be in discussions with clubs across top leagues. While Juventus and Manchester United are no longer part of his story, Pogba's talent and experience will undoubtedly attract interest from teams seeking a seasoned midfielder with something to prove. As he looks ahead to March 2025, Pogba is focused on rebuilding his career with a renewed hunger for success. Whether he achieves the heights of his past remains to be seen, but his journey promises to be one of redemption and reinvention. Meanwhile, Manchester United is entering a new chapter under Ruben Amorim, who faces the challenge of revitalising a squad left in flux after Erik Ten Hag's tenure. Amorim's managerial debut against Ipswich this weekend will offer a glimpse into his plans to reshape the team's identity. As Pogba seeks a fresh start, United is also striving for renewal, albeit on a different path. The roads of Pogba and the Red Devils may no longer cross, but both are poised for transformative journeys ahead. The sun had barely risen over Carrington, but the Manchester United training ground was already alive with energy. Players whispered among themselves, excited yet curious about what lay ahead. They had heard the rumours Ruben Amorim, the Portuguese mastermind, was different. At precisely 9 a.m, Amorim strode onto the pitch, with a confidence that immediately commanded respect. His whistle hung loosely around his neck, and a clipboard filled with diagrams and notes was tucked under his arm. The players could sense it, this was no ordinary training session. "All right everyone, gather round," Amorim called out. His voice was calm but carried an authority that silenced the chatter. As the players formed a circle, he laid out his plan. "We're going to play football the way it's meant to be played," he began, his words sparking a ripple of excitement. "Fast, fearless, and together. From today, we start building something unstoppable." Amorim's methods were unlike anything the squad had experienced before. Training began with an intense rondo session, but it wasn't the typical warm-up they were used to. Amorim's version demanded precision, speed, and constant communication. Laughter and frustration mixed as players tried to keep up with the blistering pace. Then came tactical drills. Using coloured cones and markers, Amorim broke down positional play in ways that left even the most seasoned players impressed. He moved among them, correcting stances, pointing out spaces to exploit, and praising quick thinking. "Good, Bruno, that's what I want to see. Rashford, when you make that run, trust your instincts," he shouted, his enthusiasm infectious. For the defenders, Amorim introduced a drill designed to replicate high-pressure scenarios. Lisandro Martinez and Raphael Varane locked eyes as they prepared for the challenge. "Stay compact, communicate and anticipate," Amorim instructed Dot. As the session progressed, the players found themselves pushing harder, smiling more, and rediscovering the joy of the game. The final segment of training was a scrimmage, but with a twist. Amorim introduced rules that forced the team to adapt, think creatively, and trust one another. Goals weren't celebrated by individuals, but by the entire team. When Garnacho scored a screamer, Amorim clapped and yelled, "That's it! That's the Manchester United spirit!" By the end of the session, the players were exhausted, but exhilarated. The camaraderie was palpable, and even the younger players felt like they belonged. News of the extraordinary session spread quickly. Staff members who watched from the sidelines couldn't contain their excitement. "I've never seen anything like it," one of them admitted. Back at Old Trafford, fans began sharing clips and photos from the day. The hashtag #AmorimEra started trending, with supporters marvelling at the energy and passion radiating from the squad. "This is it," one fan tweeted. "This is the Manchester United we've been waiting for." As the players left the pitch, drenched in sweat but smiling, Amorim stood watching them, a satisfied look on his face. He knew this was just the beginning, but he also knew the foundation had been laid. "See you all tomorrow," he said with a nod, "and come ready to work." For the first time in years, Manchester United felt like Manchester United again. Ruben Amorim wasn't just a coach, he was a man on a mission to restore the pride, passion and power of one of the greatest clubs in football history. The Amorim revolution had begun.